Um, like Brian said, we are the Glunt family. My name is Brian Glunt. This is my wife, Rachel. My daughter, Lily. She's 8. Curtis. He's going to turn 5 at the end of this month. And Lucy is in the nursery, and she's 3 years old. She was ready to go play with the toys this morning instead of come up front. So, and then my mother is joining us this weekend. She is our big helper this weekend, watching the kids so we can introduce and meet more people this weekend. Before I get started, I do want to say just a big thank you for having us this weekend. We were at the conference yesterday, and this is a huge opportunity for us to have this partnership with the Canadian Churches of the United Brethren. And it's just been an amazing experience meeting so many of you and hearing your love and your passion for missions. As we're going through our preparation and support raising time, I'm still working full-time at my current job, and sometimes you can get caught up in the busyness of life, and it's just a huge refreshment to come up and just see the passion that we have being expressed also in you and the other churches here in Canada. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of give you a little brief history about where I came from, and I'm going to let Rachel kind of talk about herself here in a little bit, and then also kind of, how did we end up being a small family who just, really in the past loved God but did not have that call to missions. All of a sudden, God just taking us and transforming what we believe and know in our faith in Him to give us the opportunity to serve in Thailand. For me, I grew up in a very Christian household, attending church every weekend, and just growing up in a very Christ-centered family. As I graduated college, I got a job in Huntington at a printing company, and at that point in time, I thought, that's why I'm moving to Huntington, is because of the job. And after Rachel and I got married, a year after I moved up to Huntington, we decided we needed to find a church, because when we started our family, we wanted to have a strong church like I had growing up. So we went looking for churches, and we found Emmanuel Community Church, which is there in Fort Wayne. And for probably the next 7 to 8 years, we were amazed at what we were learning, and how, even though I'd been in church, how little I had known about the Bible and the story as a whole. So I got to a saturation point with learning, and I said I need to turn and give back to the community. That started with community service in Huntington, actually working at a meal ministry for several years. And then Emmanuel decided to partner with Food for the Hungry in Nicaragua. And even though I had never had any interest in cross-cultural missions, God really laid it on my heart to be a part of that trip. So through that experience, I actually was a little nervous talking to Rachel about it, because I wasn't sure about going to a developing country, being the sole provider, young family. And so one night I worked up the courage to ask my wife if I could go on a missions trip. And I was expecting her to say, no, there's no way you can do that. But she just turned to me one night and said, I would support you 100%. So again, I'll let her talk about just the amazing gift that she is to me from God and the support through this transition. But as I was involved with that missions trip, and also we had an opportunity to meet our sponsor child, God really did something to me. I mean, He took what I thought I knew, and he just crushed me, and He was going to rebuild me into something that He could use. And it was mainly seeing that, understanding it, and allowing God to do that in my life. And it's been an amazing journey the past few years. About 2 years ago, I started the conversation with Frank Yang with Global Ministries, and we shared our heart for missions, and he was sharing with us what Global Ministries was doing around the world, and specifically in northern Thailand. So after about a year into that relationship, we decided that we were going to take this open door, this opportunity that was presented to us. We were going to apply, and we were accepted earlier this summer. And our focus is, as we go over to northern Thailand, is to be part of a student center that Global Ministries is in the process of purchasing. And that student center is going to be an open door, an opportunity to the community in Chiang Rai, northern Thailand. And the opportunities that will offer are not only for the children that are coming in for further education as they get into high school. It will offer a safe place for them. It will offer them structure. Because so often as children leave either the rural communities and come into Chiang Rai, either for school or for work, they get caught up in the human trafficking aspect that's so prevalent there. They're misled and end up in a life of slavery. So our hope is to offer a safe place, not only just physically but spiritually as well. Also in northern Thailand, Christ is not known. It is majority a Buddhist country. And so this offers us an opportunity to live our lives out, to show that relationship with Christ, but to also speak the word and just be representatives of Christ as we're called to be. And so we're excited. We just know that our plans that we make on our own are nothing compared to what Christ has for us. And so it's the humbling ourselves and allowing Him to work through us that we're excited about. And we're excited that we get to share it with such wonderful people. And I know as I was feeling like you get into that rut sometimes at work. I know when we're on the field, we're going to get into those times where we're going to be more focused on the work maybe than what the purpose is, and it's going to be these relationships that are going to ignite our passion and our fire and keep us going. So I thank you in advance for that. Do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, I think I'll just stay right here so you guys can actually see me.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, goodness, microphone. I just want to say that my background is slightly different than Brian's. I actually did not really grow up in a Christian household, so this whole aspect is a little foreign to my family. But after meeting Brian in college, I saw his family, and I knew that's what I wanted for my life and for our family as well. But yeah, it was really easy just to support him with any decisions he was making throughout this process, because he doesn't do things lightly. So I knew when he came to me and was like, this is something I want to pursue, that he had already had thought it through in his head. And so it was just easy for me to say, yes, go ahead. And I know one of the reasons he was pretty nervous about coming to me is because at that time, she was still in preschool. Curtis was a toddler, and I was pregnant with our third child. So I understood his hesitancy to want to go, and me feeling maybe now's not the time to do that. But I felt that call as well. Just, yes, this is something we could do for our family, and we should be doing it and listening to what God's saying to us. But I did have one condition, that after he got back from his trip to Nicaragua, I needed to go just to affirm this is definitely something that was being felt for our whole family, and not necessarily just, the effects of being on that trip for him. And yeah, once I got there, I knew. I was like, that's it. God said, yes, you guys are going. We didn't know where, but we were going. Do you want to say something? Okay.
I'm really excited that I'm going to Thailand, and I can't wait to see the new things that are there and talk the new language and meet new friends. And I'm just really excited because I've been out of the country before, and it's going to be fun and really exciting.
So thank you for your partnership with us, and we appreciate all your prayers so far, and looking forward to meeting a good majority of you and building these relationships. So thank you.
Now, don't